Hey you guys, how is it going? It's Clary Berry. I'm going to do a very quick reading today for the Divine Feminine, just so we can at least have some kind of balance here. I remember you can watch these videos for Divine Masculine or for Divine Feminine for the Divine Feminine, the DF and the the DM and the DF in your relationship, but also within yourself. We have both sides inside of ourselves, and we can and should be almost first and foremost thinking about that. Because again, change begins within. So if we don't, focus on ourselves and take responsibility for our part, then we're not going to see that forward movement that we so desperately want. And again, I say so desperately want, but we're moving out of that desperation. We don't need to put a time frame on this. We don't need to rush it. We don't need, it's not over yet. We think that, again, this is all about our expectations. We've been talking about beliefs all week. We're changing some deep beliefs this year, and it's not always easy because we're creatures of habit, and we just want to do, the things we've done and the things that have worked for us in the past in our comfort zones. And that's not going to fly. It's not going to fly anymore. Okay? So let's go ahead and jump right in. Some underlying energy. Okay, got our Mars and Aries, got our whole world. We're just so busy, so much turmoil. But as you can see here, this is a cage of our own making. Okay, this is a cage. It's like thinking you have to always do. Thinking you have to. It's really just thinking. It's kind of how you be careful how we think about the world, Definitely, I just feel like there's definitely something that you've been telling yourself about how overwhelmed you are, and it's probably coming through as things you're actually saying and, just reinforcing. Oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to take care of myself. I don't have time to help make this world a better place, or whatever it is for you. I don't have time to do the inner work because I'm too busy doing this. But again, it's the way you're looking at it. It's just making it all harder on yourself. Okay. And again, a little bit of victim mentality coming through, but it's again, once you decide not to do that anymore, you're free. So that's part of this awakening, part of this going within, part of this saying, I'm not going to do things the same way I always have, or the same way that I was taught. And a lot of this is your dogma of your science, your religion, and science, yes, can be good, but also people can use that again to kind of cover up the inner and almost like manipulate it again and use it. And it's like a way to, it's a way to ensure the misunderstanding. If you can control people's mind through, again, religion or just dogma, government, science, like these things, or possibly science denial, that's what you got to be careful. This is not following other people. This is not listening to what other people say. This is seeking out the own truth for yourself from within. Has to be our focus. That's what's going to, we have to shine the light on, all this aggro. We have to look at it. This is doing shadow work. Okay. This is telling us to do shadow work for sure. And then guess what benefits when you do the shadow work? Look, you start to get all your stuff in alignment. You start to find your truth, find your balance, especially now that we're getting closer to being into Libra season. I'm actually very excited. I think it's going to be great, and it's going to be great for relationships, but also mainly great for, again, our inner selves here. Okay? Finding those old truths and freedom. This is finding a freedom within the relationship, again, to not conform to the ways that society has taught us to think. And this is happening on both sides, not just Divine Feminine. Divine Masculine is going through this as well. And if you kind of look at all of the trouble and the, this maybe like toxicity or, drama that you guys might have had, a lot of your drama can actually be brought down to this idea, that we're not actually doing what we want. We're doing what we think we should do, what we think other people want us to do, what we think we want to do, but we're not in tune with ourselves enough to really know what our higher self wants because we're too busy being stuck and living, day to day. Again, too busy. It's like that quote it's not about being too busy. It's never usually about being too busy. It's about priorities. So again, we have to prioritize our going within and our inner spiritual life here. Okay? This new moon, a lot of this was just being still, just letting solutions come to you. And we're still working this out. I want you guys to know, when you watch these new moon videos, don't say, oh, look, there's a new moon video from 2 or 3 days ago. Guess what? It's still going to be applicable, especially with this super moon, through the next month or so. Okay, so let's get a little bit deeper. And oh, we got one coming out, trying to come out. Okay, there's signs, guys, that are trying to be noticed by us. So keep your eyes open. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do, this is how Divine Feminine is thinking about her person. Okay, needs to see that, you know, again, even if her person is busy working on their life and they're changing their, you know, it's like we're changing our minds about a lot of things right now. And again, it's not easy. It's not easy to have awakenings all the time. Having this patience with your person is so important. And understanding that even though, you know, your person, you know, in the past, you might have looked at them and said, oh, you know, they're materialistic, or, you know, they're immature. It's knowing that we just all start from a point wherever we start from, and you deal with what you have. And I think there's this deep down, like, understanding that Divine Masculine is working on it. And that's going to be especially true the more you know, we ourselves are actually working on it. Okay? So there's a deep understanding here, subconsciously at least, that Divine Masculine is invested in this relationship, is believing and thinking about this relationship. Okay? They may not be making moves on it because they may not have totally found their truth yet. They still have some growing to do before you can see this on the external. But it's still, again, what's in their heart, and they're learning how to find this truth, how to listen to the messages. Okay, how to be discerning in this time. They are carrying that torch. And again, this is growth in the understanding of what this relationship is actually about. Okay, and being willing to do this work. Okay. Now, it still may be a little bit of externally focused work, just by the nature, you know, of DM being more 3D. But that doesn't mean that's not helping. Again, it's like, if your life is totally in shambles, you know, yes, some inner work could be good right away, but really, you know, you get your outer life, you know, and that kind of goes against what we normally say of, you know, oh, get the inner life first. It is happening. It is changing. They're changing their mind and they're changing their environment, and it's going to help them complete this whole transformation. So see that, acknowledge that, pray for that, hope for that, ask any of the helper guides, you know, any of the spirits of love and light, any God, angels, ancestors, however you deal with that, ask them to help your twin flame. And again, visualize them making strides, getting to a brand new vantage point where they can see and they can have realizations. What you think about your person is so important. And again, when we have this impatient attitude towards it, you know, oh, well, we need it now and they're not giving us what we want now. So, you know, we better just cut this off. And be careful. You can draw that line in the sand without doing it emotionally. We do not want to emotionally abandon Divine Masculine right now. Okay? We don't want to emotionally abandon them. But again, we don't need to bend over backwards and cater to them if they're not, you know, wanting to receive any things. But again, we don't necessarily have to ask their permission to send them love and light and, you know, awakening and all of this stuff. The pain, you know, the back and forth, all of this. It is a dance. It is working things out. And it is teaching us how to, again, kind of be able to ask for what we need, be able to regulate our emotions, be able to receive what we need. And again, it may be like, You hate it. You hate the separation, blah, blah, blah. But again, it's helping you work through things that need to be worked through. It's helping in a weird way, it's helping you guys to understand each other on a deeper level. Okay. So we're going to do blockages and solutions. So again, we've talked about this extensively. New beginnings can temporarily create little blockages. Okay. That's fine. It also could be, again, still too focused on sex and maybe even projecting that your person is only, you know, about the sex. Okay, but there's, again, this new way of thinking, new way of reasoning, you know, about the things that you guys have been through. And the shadow work will help with that. It'll help you to grow, and it will help your person to grow. Okay, we've got to temper our, you know, feeling of this pull. We've got to temper our, you know, natural urges, our inclinations right now. Anything on the lower power, we've got to learn how to temper it and get in touch with the subconscious. It really is the key to everything, is getting in touch with our subconscious, which that is being woke. People are so confused about what being woke is. It's not about being awakened to some conspiracy theory. This is about conscious living. Your inner matches your outer, okay? Your subconscious matches your conscious in alignment. Therefore, for everything from your mental, you know, to your emotional, to your actions, to your pentacles energy, your habits, your work, what you're putting out there actually physically into the world on a regular basis is all coming into alignment for the same. It doesn't have to be one necessarily, like one little goal, but it's a bigger picture of what we want out of life and who we want to become, because we have to know that we're not staying the same. So if you don't have a good picture of who you're becoming, that's something that needs to be worked on. Okay. And again, we don't need to succumb into this, oh, we have to be together right now. I need my sex with my person right now. Imagination is just fine. Okay, sending love, you know, thinking about your person, you know, thinking about seeing them. Oh, you know, just the things we tell ourselves. If you believe you're going to see your person this week, you know, you're going to be a lot more likely. You know what I mean? Your thoughts lead the way. They kind of control your actions and they inspire them. But it's also about getting those emotions on board too. And you cannot do that fully if you don't deal with your subconscious. So get the program down below. Check out all of my playlists. I have Twin Flames Talks playlist, which is very, very important. I also have the Shadow Work playlist, which will get you into it. But again, the program down below in the description box is way more in depth on the shadow work. It goes through the holistic law of attraction, goes through the inner child healing. And that is what we need to get all of this in alignment, okay? All of this in major alignment and create this really unbreakable, you know, bond that, again, that never leaves, you know, never leaves your heart, never leaves your mind. Okay, it takes that vulnerability. It takes that authenticity and that truth. Again, and that understanding that, yes, like lesser emotions are gonna come back. They're gonna come up. But we don't need to, you know, get mad at ourselves about it. We don't need to read into it. We just need to catch ourselves and say, you know what? I'm not gonna let that ruin my happiness today. I'm not gonna let that suck me into the vortex. I am going to be in control. I am in control of my destiny, of my life, and I am just being patient with yourself throughout this change. Okay, even if we don't make, you know, the perfect choices every single time. Again, it's more about one foot in step of the other, you know, steady change, and it's about work. Okay, we still are in Virgo right now. Okay, but this is relationship work, and this is work within a relationship, and it may be, you know, coming through as like talks, okay, like deep emotional talks here, working it out, flexing it out, being flexible enough with your emotions to, like, again, kind of know if you're maybe, like, if you're wrong. And that's how you find the truth, is if you can't see how you are wrong, you're actually pushing the truth away from you. Okay? Don't always be blaming divine masculine for not doing the work or for not being emotional or communicative enough. focus on yourself and what you are actually doing and what you're expecting, because it is important. We still can change the course we're on. It's not too late. Absolutely not. Okay, so take the power back. Much love, many blessings. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out the video from last night. If you haven't already, I posted really late last night, which I don't normally do. Just going to be kind of short on time today. I wanted to get a bigger one out. It is a very, very deep, good reading that I think is really important right now, if I do say so myself. So again, thanks for all the likes, shares, subscribes, comments, etc. I love you guys, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good start off to your weekend and utilize the energy right now, because it is here for us, even if it feels like it's against us. It's not. Don't walk through life with that us against the world or me against the world mentality. The world backs you up, is on your side, and maybe that's a new mantra if that resonates. Okay, thanks again. Talk to you later. Bye.